What's going on, guys? It's the Angry Corpsman here, and in this video we're going to be talking about massive bleeding and how to control that with a tourniquet. So we're going to go over what is a tourniquet and what situations is a tourniquet applied, and thirdly we're going to talk about how to apply that tourniquet. So first off, let's answer the question, what is a tourniquet? Well, simply put, this guy right here, known as the CAT, or the Combat Action Tourniquet. This is a device that constricts blood flow to the extremities by clamping down the artery that is in either your arm or your leg, and thus preventing massive hemorrhaging or massive bleeding. Now this comes in a variety of parts here, and those parts are this strap, which has a Velcro side and a smooth side. Has the backing plate. This is going to go on top of the person, on top of the extremity. We have the buckle, the windlass clip, and then we also have the windlass strap here. And we're going to go over those in the practical application, how they play a role in the tourniquet application. Now this is the CAT tourniquet. There are a lot of varieties out there of other tourniquets that you can use on the market, but for this video we're going to be using the CAT tourniquet today. And the way that it works is that it compresses the blood vessels, and more importantly the artery in your arm or your leg that is splurting blood with each pulse of your heart. Now this is different than a venous bleed, and that a venous bleed is a smooth, consistent, more of a dark red color blood that oozes out of the wound, and an arterial bleed spurts bright red blood with every pulse. Now, a person can die of a fatal hemorrhage in less than 90 seconds. That's 90 seconds from the time that they actually start bleeding. That's not 90 seconds from when I realize that my buddy is laying down on the ground and he has been injured in the leg and I see bright red splurting blood. No, it is right when he starts getting cut that he starts bleeding. So I need to be ready with my tourniquet, need to know how to effectively put on a tourniquet, because it's a race against time. Because every second that goes by, he's splurting blood, and he can die out within a matter of seconds. When in doubt, hey, I don't remember if that venous bleed is the one that's the smooth or is the pulsating one. I'm not really too sure. I see that it's smooth and dark red. When in doubt, just put on a tourniquet. The worst case scenario is it gets into the emergency room, the operating room at the hospital, and they go, he doesn't have a major bleed, and they just take off the tourniquet. There was a huge misconception a long time ago that if you had put on a tourniquet on an extremity, that you would lose that limb for good, that it was going to be amputated. Well, medical research has proven that a tourniquet can be applied for several hours on end, and when it is discontinued, taken off of the patient, they're able to have their leg back again, or their arm. And just for me, I would rather someone put the tourniquet on my leg or my arm and I keep my life and lose the leg later on, than to lose my life because I'd rather had keep my leg instead. So, what situations would we put on a tourniquet? Well, everybody's mind goes immediately when they hear massive hemorrhaging, massive bleeding, to public shootings such as schools or malls, movie theaters, dining facilities. And those are all places where this could occur, unfortunately. But they're not the only places where this can occur. This can occur on construction work sites, fallen debris, working with machinery, and also with motor vehicle accidents. Pieces of metal or shrapnel, such as glass, other other debris, items in the car, could cut the artery in either the leg or the arm, inducing the massive hemorrhaging. So those are all places where this could occur. Now, how do we effectively put on a tourniquet? Well, for this demonstration, I'm going to be using this model that I had made up. And this could be either an arm or a leg. I'm going to treat this as a leg today, but you can see this as an arm. This would be this longer portion here above this knob would be towards the buttocks or your thigh. The knob is, for me, it's going to be the patella or the knee cap. And that's going to represent this joint space. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And then we have the lower leg, which is going to be down to the foot. So, let's say that I have a massive bleed. He's arterial bleeding, and he has it in this area right here, which is below the knee. Well, I want to go 3 to 4 inches above that wound site. But I have this kneecap right here. If I was to apply this tourniquet over the kneecap, I would be trying to compress bone, as this is a bony prominent. The kneecap is solid. It's not squishy like the rest of your tissue in your leg and the muscle. So I'm not going to be able to compress that artery effectively and control that massive hemorrhaging. So in this case, if I'm going 3 to 4 inches and I land over the kneecap, I'm going to go above that kneecap. I'm going to set my tourniquet right here. A good rule of thumb for me that I follow is no matter where the extremity is bleeding from, I'm going to go with a high and tight. I'm going to think of a military haircut, and I'm going to go high and tight. So I'm going to go towards the buttocks on this leg, which if this was an elbow, I'm going to go above that elbow. And for me, my personal rule is going to be nice and high and tight. I can't go wrong. I can go wrong by going under the wound, but I can't go wrong if I am controlling the bleed from way up here. So apply the tourniquet here, but really I'm going to be applying it up here. But when I get to my victim, I'm going to want to stop the bleeding immediately, right? Remember, we are racing against time on this arterial bleed. So what I want to do when I come up, I'll have my tourniquet ready. I'm running up to him. I'm going to first put direct pressure with my palms right on top, and I'm going to push down. Notice how when I'm doing this, I'm pushing down on the extremity. I'm trying to compress it. Almost like if I'm trying to press down marshmallows. I'm trying to compress that marshmallow down. So when I come up, I'm going to put direct pressure, and we're going to say, okay, for this, my demonstration, he's going to be right here, right? So I'm going to put direct pressure. I have a little more room to do this. I'm going to apply direct pressure, and then I'm going to undo my tourniquet here, right? And this smooth side is going to face up towards me, right? So I want to apply that direct pressure here, feed this underneath. I want to get this right on top. I know I'm moving this guy here. I want this guy right on top. I want to put my plate on top of his leg. And then I want to quickly feed this through. And when I go to do this, I'm going to pull back towards me, and then I'm going to wrench this over. And as you can see, that buckle is starting to get down tight, and I can't get a finger underneath there. So the rest of this, I'm going to wrap underneath, and then I'm going to use my windlass. Now, you can see that I've already started making indentation with this, with the leverage and leveraging it over. So now I'm going to apply more pressure, which is going to effectively constrict the blood flow to this extremity. I'm going to do that by turning this either counterclockwise or clockwise. It does not matter. Just pick one direction and keep twisting. So I'm going to twist, and as you can see, as I twist, I'm compressing down this extremity. Now, when I can't twist this anymore, and it should only take me about 2 to 3 turns if I've effectively put it on. So now I have this compressed. I see that there's no oozing of blood anymore. I'm going to use the rest of the strap here, and I'm going to go lay this right over top, like so. And then I'm going to use this strap piece here, and I'm going to make sure that this doesn't come undone. Now you can see that this has been compressed and that there's going to be no bleeding here. But what if I put this tourniquet on and I still have bleeding? Well, do I take off the tourniquet? Absolutely not. Never take off a tourniquet once you have applied it. What can I do instead? I can go just below and I can put another tourniquet. And I can put as many tourniquets as I want, just never take off this tourniquet. Once you put on a tourniquet, it's permanent. It's never coming off as far as you're concerned, right? So we have our guy here. He is ready to go. Sometimes you can find the tourniquets with a timestamp written on here. It'll say time, and you can write the time. If you know military time, that's even better to be able to say for 4 o'clock 0400, or for 4 o'clock in the afternoon it is 1600. And that way, when they get to the doctor in the emergency room, the doctor's able to look at it and say, okay, he's had this on for an hour and a half. Now, another question that might be arising is, well, how many tourniquets should I have? Well, me personally, I have 2 arms and 3 legs. Right? I got 2 arms, 2 legs, and then I always want to have a spare or a 5th one. So I have a total of 5. Now, will I ever need a total of 5? Hopefully not. Hopefully my first one, and if not my first one, my second one on top of that controls the bleeding. But I want to have enough to where if I have multiple people, God forbid that this happens, but if I have multiple people that are injured, I'm able to treat both those people, or throw one to a buddy of mine and have him apply a tourniquet to somebody else, or another bystander apply someone to somebody else who may be injured. Another question that people would ask is, I don't have a tourniquet. Well, you should buy one. All right, you should buy one and have it. Have them in your car. Have them in a backpack. I carry mine in my car. It's usually in either the cup holder or the glove box, or sitting right there in the center console. But if you don't have one, a lot of people, they go, oh, I got a belt. Well, make sure that the belt has a good size width on it, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Right? You don't want a width too small, because what you'll end up doing is you'll just end up injuring them further. And you'll think that you're helping them, but really you're just cutting more blood vessels, and you're not really clamping down on that extremity and controlling that blood flow. And so you want to make sure that you have proper width on whatever you're trying to use as a tourniquet. So that is a video on how to apply a tourniquet to the extremity If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. Go ahead and also subscribe to the Angry Corpsman YouTube channel, and then leave me a comment down below. Is there anything that you liked about this video? Did this video help you at all? And if there's anything that you guys would like me to do in a future video, please drop that down in the comments down below, and I'll look forward to seeing and replying back to your comments as they come in. Thank you guys. This is the Angry Corpsman, and until next time, stay prepared.